Hello, welcome to Real Improvement. My name is Ken. I have been doing real repair on and off for about 20 years. I actually did it solid for 2 years as a side hustle, kind of did it on my own, went around to different tackle shops, did it. So today what I want to do is take some people through, whoever wants to watch it, replacing the idler gear, the worm screw, and a pawl on a Penn International 955 bait caster. These reels are tough, they're solid, really great, but they have one weakness, and that is their worm gear. I've replaced the worm gear in this probably about 3 times, but $250, $300 reel, and you have a 20 some odd dollar part. It's a lot cheaper to just replace it. It's not very difficult either. These reels, they're really good, but you do need to make sure you have a set of almost jeweler's screwdrivers. Gear and your drag system comes apart really easy. This itself, I can go through another time when I actually do maintenance, clean it, take it apart, put it back together. This is a really easy part to do. So once I've got the side plate off with all of my gears, go ahead and pull the spindle out and spool. You see right here. The nice thing is you'll see all your bearings are on it. It is anodized all the way through. It's easy to clean. Set that to the side. Now what you have to do, you're gonna go right inside. There are 3 screws you have to do because you have to get this side plate off to reach all of your parts. So taking your fine flathead, reach in there, and you just take them out. There's gonna be 2 long and 1 short. The short one is actually on the idler. And they're inside of the brake ring. And yes, there is a brake ring on it. You can put your brakes on and off of this for whether you need to cast long or if you're someone who's not real certain with your bait caster and you want to go ahead and put the brakes on so it doesn't backlash as much. I've always turned mine off, but your choice. Once those are done, you can take a screwdriver, just hold this, pull it out. Make sure you have something to hold all this. Now I've already taken the idler gear off of this one because I had to figure out why my pawl kept just going back and forth in one little spot. Well, part of it was A, the worm gear was messed up. B, the idler gear had been destroyed. So this is, make sure you also have something to hold all your screws. These are very fine little screws. Very fine. Very tiny. Something that holds them will make it a lot easier. That way if it goes bouncing, at least it's get caught. I've done it before, hands and knees trying to find these things. Okay, so now what we gotta do is we need to pull out this worm gear. So the next thing I'm gonna do, go up here, let me rotate this. And yeah, see where it gets caught. Go ahead and take your line guide, move it to one side, and unscrew that. This is what will hold your pawl. The reason I replaced the pawl is because these things get chipped just a little bit, and they're going to destroy your brand new worm gear. Pull it out of there, and there is your pawl. I can kind of tell those ears have been chipped just a hair. So So there's the old one, good one. Now inside there's a C-clip and a screw. You do not have to take that screw out just to get your worm gear out. But you do have to get the C-clip out gently, because it will sling. Same thing, I've been on my hands and knees looking for it. There is also a washer, or a shim. You need to make sure to keep those together, and voila, worm gear comes right out. Now, the thing is, now you got to make sure that you put this bushing back on your new one, because the new ones, it does not come with. Okay, you can see same gear, get nice brass gears. Take this off. Oh yeah, that. If you can keep these clean, they'll last longer. Take this reel apart every so often. Clean this really well. Take it apart, soap and water. This bushing does not want to come off because this worm gear has been damaged. Normally it comes right off. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, worm gear's got a, yeah, there it is. It's got a nick. If I could get in there close, I'd show you. Wow, I gotta get that nick down. Oh wow, it's not letting go. There we go. If I can get in close enough, I can show you the damage. But you see that just slides over your new one. Now you have to make sure, once it's together, put a little bit of oil on it. Not much. You do know. You put too much oil on this thing and it is going to attract dirt and cause premature failure. Now, this bushing, let's see if I can get to show you. It's got, hopefully, I'm trying to get it in focus. There is a notch. That notch will line up with this shielding. So when you put it in, it slides in. Now, just nicely. Now when you put it together, you have to take this finger, hold it up, because otherwise you try and put this back on, it's going to slide down. Then you're not getting it back together. School of Hard Knocks taught me a lot of this. Having your schematics around helps a lot too if you need them. Most of the time, Penn and some of those other guys, you can get the schematics just online, don't cost you anything. You can find your parts too. Gently push that C-clip back in, making sure you don't forget that bushing right there. And sometimes keep a finger near this because that C-clip will go flying. Come on. Not everything likes to play fair. More than likely this won't be edited, just simply the fact that you're going to see, yes, I struggle, even though I know how these things go together. There we go. Here it's snap in, it's in, it's in. Check it for binding. It does fine. So now, I'll put in the new pawl after a little bit. Now, in order to make it run, I can have a new worm gear and it doesn't matter. This, and unfortunately they did do this out of nylon. This will be a part that fails, especially right in here. It'll get torn up. If this worm gear hangs, and it will hang because you get a piece of sand in it, you get a little piece of grit in it, a little piece of shell, a scale, whatever. It hangs up and you keep reeling, it's stripping this piece right here. This will keep turning. Worm gear stops. You're going to strip this. So, same thing. Put it down on here. It'll spin freely. Only other thing you got to do is make sure to put this little bushing, shim, right on top. Now for your most challenging part of the entire build, putting this back together. You have to line up the 3 holes. You can see through there. Yep. There's 3 holes. One of them goes right here, the other one here, the other one right here. And they actually, 2 of them hold your clicker. So now you take this, try and line it up. Yep. Gently try and line it up. I have not used this reel in about a year, so, and it's because it was this issue. Okay, not completely lined up, but you can take something, reach down in there, and get it to line up. I may edit through this part because it's pain. Probably not. When you hear it snap, that more or less tells you got it. Now, the reason this is the most challenging part, once I get these in there, I'll show you. There's a ring in there, that brake ring. You have to go between the brake ring and the other ring, and it is a tiny little thing. You can use pliers. I sometimes do. I did not get any pliers today. If you get it in there, take your jeweler's screwdriver there, and you can more or less get it to start. One for your idler gear is the toughest one because it's the shortest. Don't torque these things down really tight. Remember, even though they are machined, they are tiny. They're very fine. It looks so close and yet so far. Well, that's no good. And that's no good. Make sure to go ahead and start. If you got at least one started, you're starting off okay. Biggest challenge is this is a small frame. It's not 955, which Penn did discontinue completely. I don't think they drew any of the bait casters, but I have used these for a number of years, and these minor repairs are worth it. I've been repaid multiple times for purchasing a higher end reel. Snug them down. Don't over snug worm gear, your idler gear. And I'll still have to put a little bit of oil down there, but not much. And I'll pretty much take it apart after. Now, I'm going to pull most of the line off of this, but you can actually take this, line it up with your line so that it pulls off properly. I'm going to do the best I can on this one, but if you take your line, go ahead and just thread it through. It's actually easier to thread it through now than later. It may take a moment or two to get this to seat into that bearing. There you go. It's seated in. Pulls nicely. Nice thing is these things are easy to clean. Now you don't shove it all the way over. This right here, your line guide, because if you do, you're not going to be able to get it to go into the worm gear itself when you put the pawl in. Now you take new pawl, which, if you can see those, ears are much sharper versus these that got broken and dull. And it's all because I got a piece of sand in it, or some other piece of grit. Easiest way I found with this one, there you go. Remember to put your gears on. It will fall off. Put this back on, otherwise everything falls apart. And it's much more difficult to put in. You don't have to tighten it down all the way. I'm putting it over here because my line is built up over here. Gently and slowly start that pawl up. Do not force that pawl. Give this a trial. Let it turn the pawl so that it seats properly. Yeah, well, suck the line up in it. Let it gently go up in there. Now it just does what it's supposed to. And I can go in and I can add a little bit of oil, very little oil, but same thing. I put that right back over there. Now I can actually do see if I can pull enough line off of it to thread it back through. And I will be actually pulling this line all off and going with a much lighter line. I've got 65-pound braid on here right now. But that right there see, now I can test it. Is it going to work properly? Yep. And that is how you replace the pawl and the idler gear and the worm gear. I said I wanted to get in here and see if I can show this. Right Let's see if I can get it in there. Now let's see if we can't find something. Give it contrast so you can see the damage that will destroy everything else. So let's turn this around real quick. Need to flip this around. It's not gonna let me do it. Let's try this again. Well, I wish it was if I had a better camera. Right in here, if you can make it out a little bit, that tooth is chipped. And that is what caused all the damage. That itty bitty chip will destroy your worm gear and cost you about 35 bucks to fix. Doesn't take that long, but oh, okay. This was Real Improvement. If you have any questions, let me know.